All right. We're pretty much just gonna, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this. We'll start from here. So, attachments that have been made mostly useless in Call of Duty. You have barrels, mostly useless. Stocks, mostly useless. The rear grip for some people. People like the mags a lot. Some people are really good with iron sights. Not me. I hate most of the iron sights, to be honest with you. Probably the cleanest one is like the MP7. That one I could actually deal with, but the rest of them, nah, I can't do it. The ammo is really hit or miss, to be honest with you. It's still mostly just over pressured, and if you're trying to stretch it out like high velocities or is it high? Yeah, high velocities. That's pretty much it. The new ones are okay, but they're not really adding as much as the high grains. The high grains are like the only one. Underbarrels. Still pretty much sticking to this here. It goes. Nah, that Bruen Bastion is like the best one out of the new stuff. F-Tac Ripper. The Tiger grip is under the Ripper, and then it'll go to the Phase 3 grip, especially if you're trying to get that accuracy. I mean, this looks good on paper, but it doesn't really do much, you know. Merc 4 grip is still good. VX Pineapple is still good. There's like a little tilt grip that's absolutely amazing. And stat-wise, the core. That's pretty much it for here. The Bruen Pivot, the vertical grip. Really most of the muzzles just got wiped out by this thing, the Jack BFB. Not that many people running suppressors for real anymore. And most suppressors don't do what they used to do. But if you're gonna run a suppressor, it's still pretty much just the Harbinger. The compensators and the brakes though did get a little boost, but there's a negative for that much positive, you know. But what can I say? Barrels pretty much terrible. Lasers really is still just the F-Tac and like the hip shot. That's pretty much it. The new ones haven't quite caught up, to be honest with you. Like the FSS Vol laser does pretty much what this one does. It's relatively close. But yeah, they haven't really done anything for the lasers. Optics, pretty much same optics. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Some people run the glassless. The aim op is still pretty OP-ish. The SC's SR07 got replaced by basically this thing. I'm still a fan of the X10 Angel. And Nidar is still good. If you remember the island that had King Kong, Nidar is still pretty good. MK3 Reflector, relatively good. But other than that, I mean, this thing is nice. I'm not gonna lie. Especially since a lot of people are using smokes, it's kind of up there because you're gonna run into a lot of people with smokes, but the rest of it not so much. Uh, Stocks change for whatever gun you're using, but it doesn't really, it doesn't do enough. Like, really, it's for stocks. It's just either you remove the stock so you can get like maximum movement, or you go with maximum accuracy. The rest of it is too minimal of a change to actually waste a spot on it. And then rear grip is just flinch resistance. That way you can get straighter shots while you're getting shot at by somebody using overpressure. Pretty much. In terms of snipers, a lot of people will not use, like a scope spot for snipers. But me personally, unless I'm running like multiplayer short map, it's always gonna be the Raptor. Always. The thermals and the night visions are relatively fucking trash. And everything else doesn't really give you much of an advantage, which is insane. This is probably my second favorite one. Is this right here? It's just I don't know, the fucking the sights on it, super clean, really good, and you're still able to take into account like drop, like leading, etc., etc. So that's definitely by far one of my favorite ones. Like if I'm not running the Raptor, that's pretty much what it is. But the Raptor has that bullet drop indicator. So when you're trying to stretch it out, you just point at the building close to them, and it's just gonna immediately drop, and wherever that red dot is, you just hit there. Which is really, really good for your snipers that kind of fail a little bit on the long range. Like the ones that say you gotta place an accurate shot and whatnot. But speaking of snipers, these two are underrated. Underrated as fuck. Super underrated. But those explosive rounds are great. And with those explosive rounds, that bullet drop indicator does come in handy. Because they don't really hit at range. You gotta aim just a tad bit higher. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Wait, before we're done. Everybody's using the Renetti, obviously. Most of the pistols have been made obsolete, unless you're on Vondel, where you're swimming a lot. Especially because they made it so you automatically get a pistol, but you usually automatically end up with this one, a little 45, a little Glock junk. But they should make that random throughout games, but I don't think they will. That might be slightly upsetting to write like another thing of fucking code. The launchers are still the launchers, basically. The Pila is a good mix. Like you get that lock on. It's quick. It feels quicker and cleaner than the Strela. At least cleaner. The RPG is if you just want to piss people off. Melee weapons. Riot Shield is still king. Tonfa is right after that. And then pretty much everything else. Pretty much everything else. In terms of snipers, like hit super hard, especially if you place a well placed shot. This one gives you like a good mix of accuracy in both. So I definitely fuck with the MCPR here. In this category, it's 100% Kar 98. It's gonna be OP for probably until Black Ops 6 comes out. Also, what happened to Black Ops 5 on that note, but until Black Ops 6 comes out, this thing is gonna be crazy. You got your conversion ones, but it's not quite the same. The TAC-M, highly underrated. Now, if you're trying to do quick shit, Tempest Torrent and the EBR are where you want to go for. The SPR is still, in my opinion, competing with that Kar 98. Except the Kar 98 definitely got like a little more of a damage boost. Like on first Rebirth Island, they were relatively even, pretty much stat-wise across the board. And then it's probably this, but this one will always have my heart. Because I was running this with like that little thermal sight, the orange and green one, absolutely murdering everything. So this one will always have my heart. Hopefully they do some justice eventually. Instead of turning the Boss B into basically this, which was crazy. The LMGs have kind of taken a back, really. I'm not gonna lie. Like LMGs might be, yeah, they're in the bottom 3 of used categories. Like the RPK and the HCR used to be just god tier in my opinion. The Rap H was, in accuracy aspects, better than these two. It was just that fucking reload. If there was a way to turn that from mag fed to just like, well, not mag fed, from belt fed to fucking mag fed, it would decimate all. The Holger hasn't been the same since Verdansk. I'm gonna be real about it. The TAC Eradicator is basically just a TAC D. The DG actually did step up a little bit. The Pullum Yacht in the short conversion, especially on like small map, is solidly god tier. This is just a belt fed this. Like, it looks nice. I'm gonna be real. But the Bruin might be the closest to what it was on Verdansk when it was just absolutely killing shit. So shotguns, this thing, amazing. This thing, damage wise, amazing. Especially if you can land that good shot. But this is still my baby right here. Full auto, 15 rounds, shotgun. You're not beating it. You're not beating it unless you get off one good shot. The Haymaker is under the broadside still. Like, it's okay. but you're the little brother of this. Um, in terms of SMGs, this fire rate and time to kill is crazy. This thing for stretching out is crazier. And then this one is just amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I still am slightly upset over the fact that a 9mm is doing more damage than a 45 ACP. I just really want that to be fixed. Cause like, that's crazy. Every other one that shoots 9mm has less damage than this. This should definitely have more damage than this, which is fucking wild to me. The WSP9 somehow outperforms the Swarm, but I get it. It's a little more stretched out, you know, a little more compact versus like stretched out a little bit, but it is what it is. I would say go ahead and give this like one of those little jack conversion junks. That way you can switch it over to fucking full auto. But that would just make it the regular MP5. The ISO 9 is still incredibly good. The P90 in terms of accuracy, top tier. Quickness right here is great. This thing is an absolute piece of shit now. Still somewhat surprisingly okay. And God tier in terms of like MW2 guns. Range for every single SMG, it's winning. The Vaznev was hitting for a second. It probably got nerfed again, but it was hitting for a second. It might still be hitting. Who knows? I don't like the subverter. I'm gonna be real about it. I'm gonna be absolutely real about it. This thing is probably the best thing that they have in this whole category, which is sneakily followed by this thing. The Cronin Squall it should be used more. Completely used more. And then the TAC-V, of course. But the rest of these, nah. F-TAC Recon is a solid stretch out gun, but the F-TAC Recon really is a slight, nope. It's like the EBR, basically. I don't want to say slightly better or worse, but it's like the EBR. And then in terms of these, I still have my favorites. I'm gonna be real about it. I'm more of an MW2 gun person than an MW3 gun person, but out of the MW3 guns, the BP50 and the Ram 7, which is crazy that the Bullpups pulled it out like that, but the Bullpups 100% just running that MW3 series, you know. Then probably the MCW. I'll give it to the MCW over the MTZ 556. I just like it more. But yeah. So to conclude, you know, sum up everything. Bullpups for assault rifles if you're on short map, MW3. Big map, I would say MW2. Bosby, try out the Cronin Squall on fucking short map. It's insane. These top three are gonna be great for a while. The AMR 9 has not really came back to the greatness that it should be, especially with that 5.56 conversion, which is absolutely insane. Like, it should be better, but no. Lockwood 680 if you place good shots. Uh, then MX Guardian, KV Broadside, followed by the Riveter. But the Riveter kind of kisses people like a shotgun, bro, which it really shouldn't, which is insane. Bruin is definitely the guy to go with. Bruin or the DG in here. Now, if you feel like trying it, you know, and make builds for it, whatever, you can make builds for these two that really do not lack anywhere. Like, they rarely lack anywhere, which is insane. Like, that's insane. Like, sure, you lose like the mobility, but for a LMG, that's fucking insane. LMGs need some love, by the way. Marksman's is Kar 98. Try to attack him, right? If you're trying to be quick, Tempest Torrent. If you don't want to be like everybody else, SPR, Lockwood MK2. EBR is also up there with that Tempest Torrent. Snipers, everybody's going to tell you like Cat AMR or XRK Stalker. But this one right here is slept on and amazing. Handguns, everybody's probably going to say Renetti. Shit, I'd say Renetti. But the auto conversion on this the X13 and the FXEs, great for Vondel and Water. I want to say there's a conversion for the CQR. I'm not completely sure. There might be. Yeah, I think there is. Let's check. It's a burst, right? Yeah, it's a burst, but that's still actually relatively solid for what it is. And then pretty much for the rest of them, just akimbo that shit. Except for this one. This one, if you build it right, has the best accuracy. It is slightly above the X12 in the P890. Personal opinion, because the X12 was crazy, man. Like, the stat line on that is absolutely insane. And then the P890 is just also absolutely insane. And then for launchers, it's gonna be the Pila. That always has my heart. Followed by the RPG. And then the Shrella. Because on big map, like helicopters, cars, whatever, even though not that many people riding vehicles anymore, this thing will, it'll handle it all. And you'll still be able to quick scope somebody like inside a fucking building, which is insane. And melees is always going to be the riot shield, followed by the Tonfa. That's really like the only two options there. These things and these things should technically be the best two, considering the fact that there's two of them and they have sharp edges, but for some odd reason they will lose to that fucking Tonfa every single time. Crazy.